0517 local time. The sea is calm. Too calm. Deep inside the Combat Information Center, a single tone slices through the low electrical hum. It is not loud. It is not urgent. It is simply wrong. A sonar operator tilts his head. The trace on his screen is not background noise. It is not marine life. It is narrow, deliberate, moving with purpose. New contact, bearing 279. The bridge does not react right away. Not yet. For a brief moment, the contact drifts in passive silence, almost as if it is watching. Then the signature shifts. The water around it begins to churn in a way every trained operator recognizes. Cavitation. The sonar operator does not need to raise his voice. Contact is accelerating. Another console comes alive. Speed is climbing fast. Too fast for something adrift, too fast for debris. The line on the display sharpens, tightens, becomes impossible to mistake. The watch supervisor leans closer. Classify. A pause follows. Half a second, long enough for everyone in the room to understand what comes next. Possible inbound weapon. On the bridge, the captain keeps his eyes fixed on the water ahead. His voice is flat, steady. Mark datum. Steel shutters slide open along the forward gun mount, not fully, just enough to move. A quiet mechanical signal that the ship has changed posture. On the flight deck, a yellow shirt stops mid-step. A tow bar hangs motionless inches above the non-skid. No one says a word. Below, the sonar picture clears completely. This is not a drill, the supervisor says. Weapon release confirmed. The words land hard. The contact has broken away from its point of origin. It is no longer drifting. It is running hot, clean, built for one purpose. A torpedo. It slices through the water on a shallow path, holding a depth that keeps it fast and difficult to shake. Its course is not random. It is not searching blindly. It is aimed. Track is steady, sonar reports. No significant wander. A wandering weapon is blind. This one is not. Inside CIC, hands move faster now, but never recklessly. Tracks are assigned. Timelines appear. A clock starts in the corner of the main display. Time to closest point of approach, measured in minutes. The bridge phone rings once. CIC to bridge. We have an inbound torpedo track bearing 279. Speed high. No one asks who launched it. That can wait. The captain gives a single nod. All stations. Condition 1. Throughout the ship, the transition is immediate. Watertight doors begin sealing. Systems move from standby to live. Ahead, the carrier keeps its course, massive and deliberate, almost indifferent to the danger racing beneath the surface. In CIC, the torpedo's acoustic signature grows louder, sharper. It adjusts depth slightly, writing layers of water density with precision. Guidance is active, sonar says. It's listening. That is worse. A listening torpedo is making decisions. The fire control team runs the path again. The answer does not change. The weapon is committed. It has chosen its target. Closest approach in 4 minutes. No one responds. Above deck, a jet blast deflector groans as the ship flexes. The ocean still looks almost peaceful, sunlight breaking cleanly across the carrier's wake. Below that surface, a fast-moving threat is closing in. The torpedo surges again, a final burst of speed. Its signature tightens as it cuts through the water like a blade. Acceleration noted, sonar says. It's running hot. That phrase hangs in the air. Running hot means it is no longer saving energy. It means the weapon believes it is close enough to give everything. On the bridge, the captain speaks again. Maintain course. No evasive turn, not yet. Turn too early and you confirm the target. Turn the wrong way and you make the solution easier. In CIC, a junior sailor swallows hard, eyes locked on the scrolling data. The numbers do not care what he feels. They keep moving. The torpedo does not slow. It does not hesitate. It does not miss. Not yet. Track is firm, sonar confirms. Weapon is homing. The room falls silent except for the steady system tone marking every second slipping away. Somewhere below the hull, something has been unleashed, and whoever fired it knew exactly what they were doing. The clock is already running. Inside the Combat Information Center, the torpedo track remains steady, a thin white line cutting across the display with merciless consistency. No wild movement, no search pattern, only speed and direction. Time to CPA now, 3 minutes, 30 seconds. The words are calm, but everyone knows what they mean. There is no margin here, no rehearsal, no reset. On the bridge, the carrier's silhouette dominates the horizon ahead, unchanged and unhurried. A city of steel moving forward as if nothing below the water has changed, but everything has changed. Recommend active sonar, CIC reports. That recommendation carries weight. Active sonar is not subtle. It is a shout into the sea, a declaration that the ship is no longer hiding. It reveals position, heading, intent. The captain does not answer at once. Another update cuts in. Weapon maintaining depth, speed unchanged. The torpedo is confident. Go active, the captain says. Below the hull, the ship speaks. A sharp metallic pulse slams into the water and spreads outward in widening rings. The return comes back almost instantly. Clean, strong, unmistakable. There, sonar says. Solid return, weapon confirmed. The torpedo answers the ping, not with fear, but with adjustment. Minor course correction, still inbound. That confirms everything. This is not a simple weapon riding momentum. It is processing, listening, choosing. On another console, the torpedo's seeker tone shifts pitch. Slightly but clearly. It has found something it likes. Countermeasures ready, a voice says. Launch. Behind the scenes, compressed air hisses. Acoustic decoys eject into the sea, dropping fast and activating seconds later. They bloom underwater, filling the area with false signatures, loud and convincing echoes designed to lure the torpedo away. Decoys in the water, CIC confirms. For a moment, the torpedo hesitates. The track wavers slightly, just a fraction, a breath of hope. Then it corrects. Negative effect, sonar says. Weapon rejected decoy. The line snaps back to its original course, tighter than before. On the bridge, no one curses, no one reacts outwardly. The captain's knuckles tighten just enough to pale, then loosen again. All escorts, he says evenly, execute separation plan. The formation begins to shift. The carrier holds course, huge and deliberate, while the screening ships peel away into positions meant to stretch the torpedo's options and complicate its solution. It is a maneuver practiced countless times. Now it is real. In CIC, the tactical display fills with motion. Bearings change, distances update. Everything is tracked. Nothing is wasted. Time to CPA, 2 minutes. The torpedo accelerates again. That's max sprint, sonar notes. It's burning everything. That tells them something else too. This weapon expects to reach its target soon. It believes it is close. The captain makes the next call. Launch bubble screen. Along the hull, systems activate, pumping streams of compressed air into the water. Millions of bubbles erupt below, forming a shimmering wall designed to distort sound and break acoustic continuity. The effect is immediate. Weapon seeker is degrading, sonar reports. Signal strength fluctuating. For the first time, the torpedo truly hesitates. Its track bends slightly as if questioning what it sees. But it does not turn away. It's pushing through, the operator says, still tracking primary. The torpedo has committed. Whatever logic drives it has chosen aggression over caution. Time to CPA, 1 minute, 15 seconds. On the flight deck, engines spool down. Every unnecessary vibration is reduced. The ship itself seems to hold its breath. Inside CIC, the fire control officer leans forward. Recommend hard maneuver. That is the final card. A sharp turn could disrupt the torpedo's final approach, but only if it is timed perfectly. Too early and the weapon adjusts. Too late, and there is no space left to matter. The captain looks at the clock, then back to the horizon. Stand by. The torpedo closes with terrifying speed. Its acoustic signature grows louder and richer, filling the room with the sound of something relentless and locked in. CPA, 60 seconds. Every system is live, every option is on the table. The clock keeps counting down, and somewhere below the surface, the weapon races forward, unaware that it is no longer the only hunter in the water. The torpedo is no longer the only problem. Inside CIC, analysts begin to rewind the picture, not backward in time, but backward in space. Every bearing shift, every micro-adjustment the weapon has made is plotted, reversed, and triangulated. Backtrack the launch basket, the watch supervisor orders. Lines spread across the display, slowly converging on a patch of dark ocean no one could have noticed with the naked eye. The math is unforgiving. The weapon's confidence gives away the shooter. Probable firing point narrowing. Another sonar pulse goes out. Not loud, precise. The return comes back layered and dense, a shape hidden within the clutter of the seafloor. There, the operator says. Secondary contact, large, slow, deep. The room tightens. That's not debris, someone mutters. The contact shifts depth by only a few meters, then steadies again. It is trying to disappear, trying to blend in. It does not work. Contact classified, the supervisor says. Subsurface firm. The bridge phone clicks once. CIC to bridge. We have a second contact. Submarine correlated with weapon launch. No drama, no raised voices, only confirmation. On the bridge, the captain exhales through his nose. Nationality? There is a brief pause while databases compare hull shapes, acoustic fingerprints, and propulsion rhythms collected over years. Signature matches Iranian diesel-electric class, CIC replies. High confidence. That answers the question no one wanted to ask aloud. Below the surface, the submarine moves again. A controlled descent. A careful attempt to slip beneath a thermal layer. Classic evasion. Textbook. They're going quiet, sonar says. Speed minimal. Too late. The Torpedo continues its run, but now the water has changed. The ocean is alive with sensors, with purpose. Launch ASW Hilo, the captain orders. On the flight deck, restraint gives way to action. The Seahawk's rotors begin to turn, slow at first, then faster, chopping the air with intent. Chains drop, hands move. Within seconds, the helicopter lifts cleanly and drives forward. Inside the cabin, the crew is already at work. Dipping sonar ready. The helicopter hovers low over the suspected datum. The sonar dome lowers into the sea, piercing the surface like a needle. The water answers. A hollow metallic echo returns. Wrong for rock, wrong for wreckage. Contact solid, the Hilo reports. Large metal hull. Below, the submarine reacts immediately. It dumps ballast and turns hard, trying to slide laterally out of the sonar cone. A smart move, a trained crew, but the helicopter tracks it with ease, sliding sideways in the air and keeping the contact centered. In CIC, two threats now share the display. The inbound Torpedo racing toward the formation, and the submarine trying to escape the consequences of firing it. We can't chase both, the fire control officer says quietly. Everyone knows it is true. Resources are finite. Time is finite. The water never forgives hesitation. Priority remains the weapon, the captain says. Contain the submarine. The Seahawk crew adjusts altitude and sends the sonar back down. Each pulse sharpens the picture. Each return adds detail. Submarine is maneuvering, they report. Course erratic. They know we have them. That changes everything. A submarine that knows it has been found becomes more dangerous, not less. It may fire again. It may try to disappear. It may try both at once. Inside CIC, the Torpedo countdown drops below 40 seconds. Weapon still tracking primary, sonar confirms. No break. Below the surface, the submarine makes one more move. It releases decoys of its own, filling the water with false signatures and clouds of acoustic noise. Countermeasures detected, sonar says. For a moment, the ocean becomes crowded with ghosts. The picture blurs, contacts overlap, returns smear together, then training takes over. Hold classification, the supervisor snaps. Ignore the noise, follow the mass. The real submarine cannot fake inertia. It cannot fake displacement. There, sonar says again. Contact regained, same hull. The helicopter slides forward without easing off. Below, the submarine is running out of options. It has been seen, heard, measured. Every move it makes is now part of the record. The Torpedo closes inside 30 seconds. 2 hunters, 1 formation, 1 decision left. On the bridge, the captain's voice cuts through the tension. Prepare to engage the submarine as soon as the weapon is defeated. Not a threat, not a warning, just the sequence. The submarine slips deeper, quieter, trying to buy time. It will not get much. Because in the final seconds before impact, the balance has already shifted. The prey is no longer running alone. The decision is made. In the Combat Information Center, the Torpedo track flashes amber. Final approach. No more theory, no more modeling. Weapon inside terminal envelope. That is the last neutral phrase before everything becomes immediate. It's launch counter torpedo. The order does not need force behind it. Everyone already knows what it means. Deep inside the ship, a tube floods. Pressure equalizes. A second shape enters the water, shorter, faster, built for only one task. Stop the hunter. The counter-torpedo ignites almost at once, accelerating hard, tearing through the bubble screen and locking onto the incoming threat. Its guidance logic is direct and unforgiving. Counter-weapon active, sonar reports. High-speed intercept. On the main display, 2 lines race toward each other, one inbound, one outbound. The geometry is harsh and exact. Intercept solution steady. The incoming torpedo reacts. Its seeker flares, suddenly aware it is no longer alone. It makes a small last-second correction. It changes nothing. The counter-torpedo adjusts faster, climbing through the water column with violent precision. Closing, closing. Then the screen blooms white. A heavy underwater shock rolls through the sea. A muted thump carries faintly through the hull. The inbound track disappears at once, replaced by scattered noise and drifting fragments. Kill confirmed, sonar says. For half a second, no one speaks. Then the supervisor gives a single nod. Primary weapon neutralized. On the bridge, the captain does not celebrate. His eyes stay forward. He is already on the next problem. Engage submarine. Above the water, the Seahawk is already in motion. Cleared hot, the helo crew acknowledges. The aircraft banks and lines up over the last firm datum. The sonar picture is sharp now, undeniable. The submarine is still there, slower, heavier, boxed in. Sub-attempting descent, the helicopter reports. Minimal speed, trying to hide again. Trying to slip beneath another layer, it will not make enough difference. Weapon away! A second object drops from the helicopter and cuts cleanly into the sea. No drama, no delay, just release. The anti-submarine weapon arms almost immediately, diving deep and listening as it searches. Below, the submarine reacts too late. It turns hard, dumps ballast, changes depth aggressively. Every evasive move drilled into its crew comes out at once. Sonar watches all of it. Their maneuvering is erratic, CIC reports. They know. The anti-submarine weapon closes fast. Its seeker refines the picture, rejecting decoys, ignoring clutter. The submarine tries one last option. It cuts propulsion and goes nearly silent. It buys a few seconds. Not enough. Contact lost. Stand by. Then, contact regained. Strong return. The underwater detonation is sharper this time. Deeper. Final. The sound is unmistakable. Metal pushed past its limits. Compartments folding inward. A structure failing under pressure. The submarine's track breaks apart into fragments of noise, then settles into stillness. Submarine contact no longer maneuvering. Sonar confirms. No propulsion noise. No one says sunk. No one says destroyed. Professionals do not speculate in moments like this. They do not need to. Above, the helicopter pulls back and holds orbit. Sensors remain active, recording everything. Evidence, confirmation, insurance. On the bridge, the captain finally exhales. Resume screen. Maintain readiness. The escorts ease back into position. The carrier never changed course, not once. Inside CIC, the data is already being archived. Acoustic signatures, weapon behavior, enemy reactions, every second of the event preserved. This was not chaos, it was execution. The torpedo had been answered, the submarine had been neutralized, and the ocean once again belonged to the quiet professionals who understood it best. No cheering, no celebration. Only the steady hum of systems returning to watchful silence. Because out here, survival is not about noise. It is about getting every step right before the water closes in. The ocean settles first. Above the surface, nothing seems different. The carrier continues on the same heading it held before the alarm ever sounded. White wake, steady speed, aircraft secured and ready. To an untrained eye, it looks like an ordinary transit. Below the surface, the story is already over. Inside the Combat Information Center, the displays quiet one by one. No inbound tracks, no maneuvering contacts, just background noise and the slow, familiar rhythm of the sea reclaiming itself. Area clear, sonar reports. No further movement. The captain answers with a nod. No speech, no emphasis. Maintain watch, normal posture. Condition 1 begins to step down. Watertight doors unlock. Systems return to steady state. The ship exhales without ever showing it had been holding its breath. On the flight deck, crews go back to motion as though nothing happened. A tow bar is lifted, a hand signal is finished. Routine resumes, made possible by minutes of absolute precision below the waterline. Inside CIC, the real work is only beginning. Every second of the engagement is replayed. Acoustic waveforms scroll across the screens. Timestamps align. Analysts compare the torpedo's behavior to known profiles, isolating its logic, its priorities, the exact moment it rejected decoys and committed to the final sprint. That information matters as much as the intercept itself. This weapon wasn't blind, one analyst says quietly. It was trained. No one disagrees. The submarine's acoustic signature comes next. Propulsion rhythm, hull resonance, maneuvering response under pressure. The exact way it slowed when it realized it had been found. All of it is cataloged. Out here, data becomes deterrence. The helicopter lands smoothly. Rotors spin down while sensors keep recording until the last possible second. Nothing is left to chance. Nothing is left undocumented. On the bridge, the captain looks back out over the water. The same calm surface, the same horizon. But now the ship knows something it did not know before. So does someone else. There is no broadcast, no announcement, no triumphant message across the fleet. That is not how this works. The message was delivered underwater, in silence, at speed. A single torpedo was launched with intent. It was not a warning, it was not a test, it was a decision. And it was answered. What happened here will never be described with dramatic language. It will live in timelines, plots, and signatures. In lessons folded quietly into training manuals and tactical briefings. Fire once, reveal everything. Outwardly, the carrier strike group changes nothing. Inwardly, the balance has shifted. The ocean remembers. The sensors remember. The analysts ashore will remember. Somewhere, a commander will notice the gap in a patrol schedule. A silence where sound should be. A report that stops too suddenly, and they will understand. This is how naval confrontations end when discipline outweighs emotion. No flags waving, no victory speech. Just a line drawn in water, invisible to the eye, but not easily crossed again. The carrier keeps moving forward, unchanged, unstoppable in its routine. Flight schedules resume, watches rotate, meals are served, life continues because discipline held. And because one torpedo launched with confidence met a force that does not miss twice, the lesson will stay with them for a very long time before anyone makes that choice again.